You had a big year with Jokic and the Nugs.
And the Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
The Denver Broncos are surging.
I haven't been keeping up.
Surging means getting better.
I mean,
Dude, oh my God. Sorry, we can start.
no, go ahead. What do you think?
Yeah, we're in it.
Oh, dude, it's just this movie is full of so many like huge set pieces and over the top characters, but I think that the true heartbreak is him, dude.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the movie, it ends, and then the last scene is him just in that remedial class for people with developmental disorders, just walking, and you can tell that he's trying to like kind of like figure out what's happening and where his brother is, and he's just in this like, literal purgatory. Like I can't imagine a worse thing than being like kind of aware of who you are and trapped in your body with a bunch of other people you can't connect to. It's just heartbreaking and also like terrifying.
Well, it's honestly borderline like a version of ALS almost.
For sure.
Like
yes.
where you're just trapped inside yourself a little bit.
Right. My wife told me the name of her hypothesis for what he has. It's like something delay disorder.
Yeah.
Where it's like you just can't process things in real time. And I remember when the end of this movie hit, I was on an edible in the theater with friends, and I was like truly like just creeped out to my core.
What do you think's the most uncomfortable scene?
There's so many scenes in this movie that really, again, like get underneath my skin. But when they're in that final apartment building, and they're in that guy's apartment, and you can tell that like that guy thinks that this is appointed like a king would have it.
Yeah.
But it's just like dog shit that your grandma would have in like 1985. Just that idea of like fake opulence.
Yeah.
With like, it's like, you know how like the back of the couches feel? Like I feel like there's a room in there that has like the walls are kind of like plush.
Yeah.
It looks like the inside of a car. Oh my God. That one for some reason, and also it's building this big thing and obviously what happens in there. But God, I've been in apartments like that where you're in a place where a woman, like it was like an aunt or an aunt's friend, and she has like the oxygen tank and everything smells like fake, like it's like fake incense is in there, and she has the candy dish, just like that like idea of being feeble and frail, and like your whole life has led to this moment, and now you're trapped in this fucking like, this box that feels like the inside of a Ross. Like everything in there is from TJ Maxx, like that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. And also I'm like brutally hungover right now, so everything is really like I might puke just thinking about some of the shit in this movie.
I told Reed when you picked this movie, it kind of hurt my feelings a little bit. I was like, what's he trying to say? He picked a movie about two brothers, one named Nick that's a little developmentally disabled.
Well, you guys pointed out that I should have done The Town.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I was thinking, because I was so eager to come back on your pod, but I was thinking like, what's a movie that I really like? I have a hard time quantifying my favorite things, but I think this is my favorite movie.
Well, I remember when we did the last pod on The Departed, Reed was like, asked you like, if you were a cop, would you be a good cop or a bad cop? You're like, fuck cops. Like, no way, I would never be a cop.
Would never be a cop.
And
yeah.
so on our drawing, we actually made you a cop.
Oh, that's why you did that. Oh, okay, that makes sense, dude. I thought it was some kind of pig joke, and I was like, all right, thanks, boys.
Speaking of which, first gift we got for you.
Oh, shit. All right, okay. This is a Movie Ruiners t-shirt.
Yeah, swing that.
Ooh, and it's a Hanes Beefy tee. It's a 4XL. Oh, thanks, guys. I thought it was just some of your own bullshit merch. I was struggling to be like, oh, wow. Really lowering the bar on this one. Oh, that's awesome, dude. It has my friends on it, too. Is that Johnny Pemberton?
Yep.
Catherine Blandford. Look how handsome you guys are in the middle, surrounded by these mutants. Well done, boys. Who's 45?
That's Aaron Weber. He
Aaron
did
Weber.
Rudy.
Ah, man, Rudy's a great movie. And he went there, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these beefy tees.
Yeah, I had to consult Nathan Lund, ask about your shirt. So
Oh, dude, thank you.
Yeah, we missed Lund.
Yeah.
Dude, he's the man.
He's the best.
Y'all, I was so tickled watching y'all.
Thank you. I
on
need
Rans.
clean shirts. Been living out of a backpack since July. So thank
So
you.
this might get worn.
It'll be worn as soon as I'm off the pod. It'll go on my body as I drive to Knoxville.
that's awesome.
Yeah. So you guys got up in Lund's ass to...
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that's fun, dude.
he's
I bet he wasn't bothered at all. Was he nice to you guys?
Oh yeah.
Okay, because he can be a bit prickly when people are like, "Hey, can you help me with something about Sam?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'd love to." Great guy though, I love him.
Nah, every time I've interacted with him, he's been great. I laughed so hard when y'all were on Rand's pod, and he did his little Sicily story.
Oh yeah.
I watched that this morning. It was just like tears in my eyes.
Yeah, dude. Lund's very funny. Lund lost his phone when we were in Dublin in November, and he's a guy who loves to scroll. He loves to be on Twitter to get mad at everyone, you know. And he didn't have his phone, and he was just like a little boy, where he had to be like, "What time is it?" You know, like I would wake up, dude, like go to the bathroom at 5 a.m. In various mornings in London and Dublin, Lem would just be like standing in the kitchen, like staring at the microwave, and the clock would be flashing, and he'd be like, "Is it morning or night? How long did we sleep?" Like he was totally lost in time and space.
That's honestly a nightmare.
He didn't have a watch.
I hate that.
He couldn't call his wife.
The Safdie was talking about it, and he said that in this movie, the passing of time is the thing that stresses him out the most.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't wear a watch. It's like as long as I'm moving forward, like I'm good.
Yeah.
But the minute I stop, I get depressed.
Oh yeah.
So like it kind of the whole not wearing a watch thing like works for some people, but I couldn't do it.
Oh man, this movie is such a masterpiece.
I thought the bank robbery was actually pretty clever too. Like it went well up until the ink dye
I
like
know,
going
dude.
off.
Oh god. And like people always talk about the level of like anxiety that people feel from Uncut Gems, which is arguably a better film for different merits. But God, this one just gets it's just like I keep saying skeeved out or creeped out, but like that is the feeling. I think I experienced legitimate anxiety as like a fear, you know, of like whatever the next synapse is going to do to me. And this movie just kept me right there the whole time.
What were your feelings of Robert Pattinson going into this movie?
So, dude, I never watched Twilight because we're a little bit older than like when Twilight was relevant.
Yeah.
You know, you probably
I
loved it 'cause
watched
you were wearing
it.
a diaper,
A
sitting
girl
in your
brought me.
crib. Yeah, of course. Yeah. And so I don't know. I didn't have any like didn't have any preconceptions about him from Twilight. I knew him as the Twilight guy. I saw him in this, and then I don't remember when The Lighthouse came out, but I feel like I saw them around similar times.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is the best actor of our generation. And I stand behind that. I think that
so?
he is, I mean, who could have done this? Who else do you cast in this without them making it this big, like, all about me fest? Like, he manages to blend into the background of this movie at certain points when that's an impossibility, you know? So, yeah, I really, really love Pattinson.
Yeah.
And, like, admire everything I've seen him in.
Well, he got Batman because of this movie.
And, dude, he was a great Batman.
I thought.
Oh yeah, I'm into that.
I don't know. People were mad at him for Batman. It's like, can't you guys just enjoy anything?
Yeah.
He's fucking great. Yeah, he was in a girl movie. He was in a bunch of girl movies. Who cares? He's the greatest.
Yeah,
I don't know
think
who's
so,
a better
too.
actor of our generation. I mean, I don't know. I'm not like the most well versed in movies, but
Well, I think he's like in the running for sure.
Yeah.
Like of like the younger guys. I don't, I'd rather him than Tom Holland or Timothy Chalamet.
I
I was
Yeah,
gonna say
yeah.
Chalamet, but Chalamet can't hold a handle to the candle to the light that is Pattinson.
I agree.
Yeah, he's the best.
This movie. They said that his energy was pretty perfect because he's kind of like because he had such fame with Twilight.
Yeah.
That he is always kind of like not manic, but just like looking around and like doesn't want to be recognized.
Yeah.
And like they said he kind of reminded them in general of a man like always on the run from
Sure.
something.
That makes
so they're
sense.
like, this was perfect. Like he just nailed this.
And I think that like a lot of people would have been like, okay, I'm the Twilight guy, and now I'm in this serious art house film where I play a villain who maybe tries to seduce a little girl, that's kind of nebulous. Who knows? I think a lot of people really would have made a meal out of it, and he just delivered an excellent workmanlike, I'm a part of the team performance, and I really respect him for that. And then Lighthouse, he's with Willem Dafoe, like fucking totally keeping, they're equals in there. Willem Dafoe would have eaten up a lot of other lesser actors, and he really stood up to the challenge of being on screen with him. And I'm trying to think of other movies he's in besides those two, but I'm failing.
I mean, he was just so known for Twilight and Harry Potter for the longest time that it kind of does block you of like remembering all his other stuff.
Yeah. God, I love him.
Yeah, what I love, he just feels like such a I feel like I know this guy, or I
Yeah.
grew up with several
Yeah.
people like this.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
total scumbags.
Scumbag will rip you off. If you try and get weed with him, you have to check his socks because he probably put a gram in his socks. He's like, oh, sorry, man, the nugs are dense. Here's your bag. It's supposed to be 3.5 grams. You like weigh it later. It's 2.7. You're like, oh, good. My friend fucked me. I knew a lot of guys like this. And I like lived with a lot of guys like this when I was young and in Denver. Just like dudes who like are good, and if something pops off, they're there with a broken bottle ready to go. But shit, if there's matters of money involved, you better count every fucking dime because they're gonna get your ass.
I feel like you love characters like this, though.
I do. I really love their first movie too about the heroin couple.
I hadn't seen that one yet, but I heard it has the guy that plays like in the twist when he breaks him out of the hospital.
Yeah.
That guy.
Yeah, I think it's the Safdie's first movie.
Okay, I haven't seen
They also made a basketball documentary, which is very good, about a fallen basketball star who gets addicted to drugs. But they made like a very, very low budget, very close to the street movie about this like heroin couple. And, you know, it's their first movie. They're figuring it out. There's growing pains, but it's very harrowing. And they do the whole like very tight, long shots on just absolutely heartbreaking moments,
Yeah.
you know, that they've kind of made their thing.
What I love about this movie is right when something feels like it's going good,
Dude.
it just completely turns
Continually,
on itself.
bro. Yeah, I mean, this is hilarious too. Like, this is there's some really they're able to wring some funny moments out of. Yeah, my face is burning. Yeah. Your face isn't burning. You'll be all right. And now they have to run away from federal charges as he's consoling, and he's so sweet, you know.
Yeah, he really is.
He's so sweet to his brother. And also that's Benny, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Benny, I mean, who fucking knew he could do this kind
I
of
know.
shit? Yeah, he's really good.
It-
And again, he's not drooling, you know, it's not I Am Sam, he's not honking. Like, it's just like it's very true to life. And that's what I love about this movie is it's this fantastic tale that's really hard to a lot of people would have fucked it up and it would have not had any verisimilitude. It would have looked like too much and it would have been inauthentic, but somehow they pull it off and they make it seem like a small movie.
Well, even like the way he treats him, he's almost like you don't have anything wrong with you.
Right.
Like he's
Yeah.
almost like
He's
this is in
mad
your
at him.
head. Yeah, and he's
Yeah.
like, but he's even still. It's like it's not like he's being mean in that moment. He's almost just like, hey, you can do this.
It's
Like,
a lack of patience.
yeah,
Which when my mom had her stroke, I remember initially me feeling like, pull your head out of your ass, Mom. Like, just say words. What's the matter with you?
Yeah.
Come on. Like, you're not trying. Like, do your physical therapy, you know? And then it's like, so and then other people in my family kind of like maintained that same feeling. And there was just this like kind of resentment towards my mom's thing. And it's just because you miss your mom, you know?
Yeah.
And it comes out like you're grieving in all different ways. And I remember just like sometimes wanting to snap at my mom and be like, use the fork. What the fuck, you know? So I think we all deal with that
yeah.
in our lives.
grandmother had ALS. And
This is
lived
about
with
me,
us.
guys. All right. So I don't want to hear your sob stories. Okay. Sorry, we're supposed to be funny on here. And then we're just having like a sincere
We got real
conversation.
serious, didn't we?
Well, yeah. I mean, I love being sincere, and I love, you know, I just love this movie. I'm sorry about your grandma.
No, it's okay.
Well, it was the same thing.
Yeah.
Where you're just like, come on, you know who we are.
Right.
Like just
Yeah.
that same frustration with stuff.
Yeah. All of my grandparents have had dementia on their way out. And like when my first grandma got it, it was like, oh, fuck, what are we going to do? And then by the time my other grandma and then my favorite grandfather got dementia, I was taking improv classes. I remember reading in this book how they were like using improv with like people with Alzheimer's to just like yes and them. Because with Alzheimer's, you're never supposed to be like, no, grandpa.
like throw him in a loop.
That's Julie. You know who that is. So if he's like, oh, Margaret, I haven't seen you since the harvest dance. You know, you're supposed to be like, oh, Ova, I remember your hands were pretty low, you know? You were sneaking honks. Like, you're supposed to totally just dive in with them.
Yeah.
And like, yes and them and let them kind of explore that little part of their memory that they've stumbled into, like that locked room in their brain. So I got really good with talking to my grandpa. To the point where I remember at one point I was like, he was talking about like, he thought like one of the nurses was gay in his nursing home? And I was like, yeah, Grandpa, I think so too. Did you ever know any gay guys growing up? And he's like, well, yeah, Chester. And I was like, what? It was his brother. His brother, yeah. He was like, oh yeah, Chester.
Is that why he's your favorite grandpa?
Well, dude, my grandpa, he was at every sporting event I ever did, every practice I ever went to. I grew up at my grandpa's house. Grandpa Ova, he was the greatest. But him revealing that he thought his brother was gay, me and my dad were like, what? And he was like, yeah, he worked on that railroad, you know. He brought the pipeline to Alaska. There's a lot of lonely nights up there with those fellas. I was like, holy shit. And then, of course, he like lost the thread and was talking about wanting juice. But it's like, Grandpa, you think your brother's a homosexual? What? You think Uncle Chester's gay? Like, I really wanted, but we got that little moment out of it. Yeah. I don't know what we were talking about, but...
Uncle Chester's gay.
Dude, it was huge. My dad was like, what? You know? But yeah, because like Uncle Chester, he lived in Wyoming. He had a wife and kids. Like, but my grandpa was like, a lot of lonely nights, you know? And he's not saying it as a joke. Like, he's being
It
completely
almost sounded
sincere.
like a euphemism. Like, he took the pipe all the way to Alaska.
Oh, for sure.
It's not all he took the pipe to. Yeah.
Yeah, he was like an ice road trucker. He was like one of the dudes. And then, I mean, this is the title card, bro.
Yeah. Just gets the crap beat out of him.
Yeah, look how scared he is, dude.
I would be terrified in that same situation.
Of course.
It's kind of messed up. They don't have like a different prison for him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he committed an adult crime.
Yeah, that's fair.
Whoever casted this movie nailed it too.
Have you ever been sprayed with pepper spray?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. One time there was we had a skate park in Elizabeth, Colorado, and I was up there. There was going to be a big rumble between like these like the kind of lesser Juggalo contingency of Elbert County, and then like a kind of strange amalgamation of the Cowboys, and then like some like jocks. There was going to be some like the Skeeves and the fucking shit kickers. And this kid, who I keep saying his name when I tell this story, but I won't anymore because his brother was like, please don't. I'll just say his last name. X Burkhart showed up, and he just got in the middle of like these two warring factions who like didn't want to fight, but were like, oh, you make a move, pussies. They weren't saying pussies. They were using words that you guys probably still use down in Bammer. And this Burkhart brother just got in the middle with bear mace and just spun in a circle and maced everyone. He tried to cover his eyes, just spun in a circle with bear mace. And I was on the fringes wearing my leather jacket, and it like got in my eyes from like however many feet away. And I just remember that everyone the next day at school, every boy who was there, you could tell they were there because they all reeked like bear mace. You can't get bear mace out of a leather jacket, dude. Yeah, so I've been maced once, and then I was maced also when I was a young, naive anarchist, and I think we were marching in Syracuse and like just like breaking Starbucks windows because that's going to stick it to him. And then like a dude with minimum wage is there sweeping it up, and you're like, yeah, solidarity, brother. It's like just totally shitty stuff to do. We got maced there. It was either Rochester or Syracuse. We all got maced by cops. But the trick to that is, you know how you get it out? Vinegar. You carry vinegar with you. So a lot of like, leftists, when they are engaged in like black bloc tactics, will have either like a spray bottle of vinegar, or like they'll soak their rags in vinegar. They're like the face balaclavas that they wear. But if they don't get maced, then they just reek like fucking vinegar all day.
That's the only time you're like, man, I wish I'd gotten maced.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, yeah.
I went to all this prep work.
Yeah.
Nothing.
And I remember that there was a rumor in like one of the anarchist Black Cross handbooks was like, you can also use urine to get rid of mace. And I remember hearing about people pissing on each other's faces after they were maced. Yeah.
I think I would have tried the vinegar first.
I'm pretty sure that's jellyfish.
It's jellyfish, bro. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So the last time you did our pod, you left a big box of wine
at
my house. So we given it out to like, honestly, like there was a lot of wine in there. So we've given it to so many people. Like Lucy got a bottle. We gave Joe List a bottle, and every time we gave them a bottle.
Jeffrey, Joe List alcoholic.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. We didn't give Joe List a bottle. It was Jeffrey and Tommy were like, oh man, Sam rule.
Yeah.
So every time we give somebody, we called it Sam Tallent wine.
Oh,
and they
good,
all
man.
like had just the nicest things to say about you, and we're all like super pumped to be getting your wine.
Well, I'm really glad that worked out. Why did I have all that wine?
So you had done that show in Birmingham.
Dude gave
and I
me
feel
all
like
the wine.
Someone just gave you a box of wine, and you like. Because you walked in, we dropped you off at the train that night to go to Tuscaloosa, and you were going to come back to Birmingham, and then just never did. And I went to ship it, and they were like, "Oh, you can't ship wine like this many bottles of wine across state lines or whatever."
Well, I'm glad you guys utilized it.
Yeah, it was great. Everyone.
I'm glad
really
you guys were able to
appreciated
brown nose your way into other people using my gift.
So some people are like, "Whoa, does he make his wine?" We're like, no.
Me and David Borey tried. Well, David Borey tried to make wine, and I cheered him on with like straight up like Welch's juice and yeast.
No way.
You just let that ferment for a while?
Yeah, it was like a quarantine project. For
Do you have
David
those like
Borey.
huge jugs or whatever?
No, it was like he would like open a jug of like Welch's or like some cran peach thing, and then just like add a little bit of yeast, then leave it in the dark. And then we drank it, I think, for the Super Bowl in 2021, and it was terrible.
I was about to say that
It
sounds
was
awful.
so bad, dude. Now this is a nice bottle of wine. I appreciate this. This is one of those like heavy duty bricklayer Bordeaux's. This thing is you have to like scrape your tongue when you're done drinking this thing because it coats it. This is great. My wife loves this kind of wine. So thank you. This will be a big hit when I get up to Detroit. Oh yeah. You know Appellation, you know what that means?
I don't.
Where it's from.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I kind of knew then.
Thank you guys.
No problem,
I appreciate this. I've gotten heavy into natural wines. So this is and my wife is like always like, we don't want those. We want like they want to drink like box wine equivalents, you know. So this will be big. My mother-in-law and her will love this. Thank you guys. This is very thoughtful. Man. This is perfect. And it says it's from Emelion, which will be, I don't know if that'll actually work, but anyway, thank you. This is very nice.
Yeah, we're kind of re-gifting you your own thing.
That's okay. That's fine, man. Yeah, I mean, what am I supposed to do with all those bottles of wine that
it was
gave
a
me?
lot.
It was a bunch.
Yeah.
And I was grateful, you know, but shit, I'm glad it worked out for y'all.
Next gift we got you. Speaking of your wife and quarantine projects.
Oh my God, this is insane. Are you fucking kidding me, bro? Fuck, dude. Holy shit. Guys. I mean, the first time I was on here, I knew what to expect this time, and I was like, there's no way that they're gonna beat themselves last time, but Jesus Christ, this is really kind of you, because this doesn't exist in the real world, and you guys have brought it into my hands. Wow, guys. What the fuck? I played this on Danny Brown's show.
I saw that. I love Danny Brown, and I was so pumped when you're on that show.
Oh my God. This is a fucking actual... Oh my God, guys. No way. Actual wax?
Yeah, man.
What the fuck? Is it what?
It's the two songs you and your wife
Inside
are
A,
on.
Inside B?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Guys, you had a record press. This is mental. Whatever favor you guys are going to ask me in a couple years, I have to say yes now. Dude, you know where this is going? This goes to my father, and it goes into his weird archive of all the things that I've been able to experience. This is so special. I always wanted a real record for my old band. We never got records pressed. We always still did CDs. This is really great. Thank you, guys.
What, you played drums, right?
I play drums. But yeah, on this, Clandestine Apostles, Intergalactically Shamed, was... It was me and my wife, and we had Patrick Richardson, who does all of my like editing stuff. I'm not going to put that in there right now.
That's too hard.
But Pat lived with us for like 6 months in our home in Fort Collins. And Pat always made beats because he was in really good bands. Oh no, have I fucked
No,
it?
it's okay.
I gotta keep this like so safe. I think I'm gonna mail this home to my father. I'm gonna pack it and mail it home. to my
I got
dad.
this for you so you can put it in there already.
Man. Fuck! I can't believe you got an actual record pressed. How long did this take?
Probably about 6 weeks.
Yeah,
I think.
because like this is
the
tough
second
to do.
you're like you'll do our podcast.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm ordering this today.
Yeah.
Dude, because they shut down a lot of these. It's like hard to get American wax now. Who printed it for you?
I wish I knew.
Some company somewhere. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So anyway, we were just like sitting around one night, and my wife, she very, very rarely will take a puff of weed. And I think we were watching a movie, and the movie sucked. And Pat was like, I'm going to make some beats. And then he made some beats. And then we got on there, and we laid down some fucking tracks. And that was how the Clandestine Apostles started. Wow. I was Thoracic Cavity.
That was your name?
Yeah, Emily was Doc Fizz. And I think Pat was like Jimmy Spider Bites or something.
I love she took a puff of weed and just went into a rap alter ego.
Dude, it was crazy. Because like me and Pat would like freestyle or whatever, and it was never good. And Emily was like, that was really good. And it's like, no, you're high. No, you're stoned.
Well, I thought it was so fitting that you got to get Danny Brown listen to it, because you have so many bars on there that are more, pretty complex.
Yeah, they're not bad.
Yeah,
they're not bad. Yeah, and then Danny Brown I was watching his face as he was listening, and at one point he did like the stink face, like, I was like, that's good. That means he likes it. God, yeah, I mean, I would never call myself a rapper, but I had a podcast called Shinin' with David Bory, where at the end of it, he would make me like freestyle at the end of every episode. And it always just evolved into me like, like putting a gun in someone's pussy, or like, it's like the most ultimate acts of evil. I just always got like very hyper violent in my freestyles, and it was embarrassing. But people liked it. It's a very special thing to.
Well, you have such a mastery of the English language, and I just feel like your vocabulary that it would make you a pretty good freestyler.
Well, that's kind of you to say, but at the same time, I really wasn't able to get evocative on the freestyles when it was a lot of like, pull the trigger, make your pussy quiver. Like, I definitely wasn't playing with the upper reaches of my intelligence. It was really gross, like Brother Lynch Hung-esque stuff, but it entertained my friend. But yeah, this is truly great. This is going in the archives where my father has another fake record that I had.
How long did you play drums for?
I don't have any memories of not playing drums. My dad was a drummer. My grandpa was a drummer. There was just a drum kit in my room growing up. So yeah, I've always played drums.
That's awesome.
There's a lot of people who play drums a lot better than me because they took lessons. Like I don't know how to do rudiments or anything like that, but I can keep up with most bar bands. I can't do blast beats anymore.
No, I saw you last night during Creed during the air drums. I was watching. I was like, yeah, he's actually playing drums over there.
Yeah. Well, dude, I was torn out the frame last night, boys.
That was a fun time.
Oh yeah. I was talking a lot of shit last night. Lucy would be like, I love this person. And I'd be like, what? They suck. They're good at everything except for being funny. And she's like, you're not going to piss me off. Don't worry. And I was like, I don't care. That was like the first time me and Lucy ever like broed down heavy with a couple of cocktails in us. And I was like, what? I mean, she has good taste, but she brought up someone and I was like ready to flip the table. It's like, what? How?
Lucy said she liked someone and Aaron had the funniest response. He was like, wow, it's just sometimes me and you have the exact opposite interests.
Yeah. And I don't think Aaron was drinking, so he just got to watch his wife and me like slip deeper and deeper into the bottle, and he was the voice of reason. Wow, guys. I'm very moved by this. This is going to bring a lot of smiles to my wife and Patrick's face. God, records are tough, dude.
Yeah.
Have you ever collected records or anything like that?
My dad does. My dad's a huge record collector. And as soon as you got LimeWire or Kazaa or Napster, it was who fucking cares? Give me the MP3. I'm going to burn out 3 laptops trying to get this real big fish record. Like, I was all over the internet early for those reasons. But I literally did not know there was pornography on there.
Yeah, Kazaa and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know about that. And then everyone's like, oh, you were downloading music.
You were actually using it.
Yeah.
Gay.
Yeah. Yeah. I had like still images of pornography as a young man because we had internet early, but like I never like hardcore porno movies. I never really had. There was like Red Shoe Diaries and stuff like that, or like whatever was on Showtime, but there was no penetration. See, I remember when I like moved into my apartment when I was 18, and like I was googling like breasts or whatever. fucking Bang Bros was made available to me in my first apartment, and it was game over. Oh my God, dude. It was like just gooning at that goddamn table. Oh God, it was so gross. The same table is in my home now. It was in my childhood home. It was in all my apartments I've had. Now it's the desk that I write at, and I just will sometimes be like, "Oh, you really committed the lonely sin at this table so many times."
Don't ever put it near a black light.
No, dude. Oh God. Oh, that would be bad. Like the underside of the table, like 18 in your own apartment, just completely feral, just like watching Gianna Michaels take it, and you're like, "Wow!" I bet the underside of that table is, it's like a celestial mess. It's gross. It looks like this.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Zach Townsend was talking about using Kazaa to like download a movie.
Yeah.
And he opened it and it was like porn, and he didn't know. He like unintentionally never seen anything. He like closed his computer really quick and was like, just said he felt like terrible for like a week, and then like after a week he was like,
Yeah.
All right, let's watch that again.
Well, there was like, I felt a lot of like deep shame for. I think that I got to the root of it was the fact that I was no longer my mommy's little boy, you know, because in 6th grade I went to school. We had a printer and we had the internet, and I would print off all this porno and I would like sell it to my friends. And it was like, I had these big shorts, and in one pocket there was like black girls, and in one pocket there was like Asian girls, and then there was like scenes
diversity pockets.
Well, because kids would be like, "Can you get me like a Lucy Liu?" And back then they would have, I don't know if you remember because you were teething, but they had these things where it'd be like the fake head on the woman's body. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Come on. I don't have it in me to actually bully you. But so anyway, I would do that. And then one time I came home from football practice and I ran to take a shower, and I took my shorts off, and my wife was like, "Time to do laundry," or my mom was like, "Time to do laundry." And she found like just this treasure trove of porno and dollar bills in my pocket. And she sat me down and was like, "What is this? Are your friends having sex? Are you having sex?" I remember literally sitting there and being like, "No, mommy, I'm still your little boy." Heartbreaking stuff. Like really disgusting. I literally said, "I'm still your good little boy." She was like, "No, you're not. You're filthy. This is so much pornography." And it really like tainted my ability to enjoy that kind of stuff for a long time. I just think about my mom screaming at me in my room while like holding up a picture of Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera getting DP'd. Ugh. Yuck. Anyway, that's my porno history.
Yeah.
No, it's
Okay. All right.
Uh-oh.
Last thing we got you.
Oh my God. How are you going to beat this?
I think we might.
That's crazy. I'm scared. Comfort me.
Oh, wait. Well, this is not it, but we did get Sprite.
Okay.
That's going to top you.
Yeah.
I love a Sprite.
Yeah, but that's the acid, bottle of acid. Be careful of that.
Dude, that is the scariest thing that they do in this
When they
movie.
dump it in the security guard's mouth?
When they macro dose that security guard with however many cc's. Oh my God. My buddy got puddled one time, and it was like the scariest thing that I experienced, and I wasn't even high.
What's puddled? Is that just squirting too much acid? Or
Yeah, we used to throw this free festival in Denver called Too Much Funstival, and we had a bounce house, and all these, it was just like a free thing, and this guy was like, "I've had so much fun the last 3 days, and I haven't had to pay a dime. You guys want some acid?" And I was like, "No, I have to do stand-up tonight." My buddy Bobby was like, "I'll take a little bit," because Bobby could handle it. And the guy, Bobby was like, "Hold out your hand." And Bobby held out his hand, and the guy had a Visine. And half of that Visine bottle went into Bobby's hand.
Oh, my jeez.
And Bobby was like, "What the fuck, dude?" And like, reflex was like, tried to rub it off and just got it on his other hand. And then Bobby was completely gorked for like 12 hours to the point where like police came to the show that night. They were like, "You take him or we take him." And we're like, "Okay." We got him in the car. He kicked out the windshield. He kicked out the back windshield. And he was screaming stuff like, "We have the technology. We have the resources." He was like having epiphanies, and he's like, "Get me Obama." So in shifts, like me and my friends had to literally like sit on his hands and feet to keep him from like destroying his home. I remember Ron Funches was at the festival, and Ron Funches came over and was like, "My son has severe autism, so I'm used to this type of behavior." And Ron Funches, he said that while like sitting on Bobby's chest and like hitting a bong, and Bobby's screaming like, get me Hillary. We have the resources." It was so scary.
Well, the last thing we got you. This is from our friend George, Dr. Photograph on Instagram.
Dr. Photograph. Oh my God. The play set. One proud old mallard. Oh, fuck. Plopo tarp sold separately. This is so well done. What the fuck? Dr. Photograph. Oh my God. This haggard specimen has been known to snap at wrists and draw blood. Wow. This is just like one level deeper that you guys do a lot of, because I have a Billy Ray Schaefer action figure that someone made that's like very poorly done. God bless him. Great guy. JT's Customs, but I think he was kind of a rush job. But this doing the duck, that's for the real heads.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is like a B-side. Wow.
You said that's a true story too, right? You saw that
I did do Plopo. I'm gonna mail both these things home so they don't get crushed in my bag. God, guys, that's so sweet of you. It's just so thoughtful. And I'll like look at this thing, and now I'll always think of you guys, and I'll remember this time at Zany's. Like these artifacts. Like I buy all these fucking stupid tchotchkes on the road. Like when I go on the road, like especially when I'm abroad, I'll like buy like a keychain, and my wife's like, "You don't need a fucking Estonia keychain," and it's like, "Yeah, I do, because I'm gonna remember that I bought it at this gift shop where the guy had the lazy eye. It was right after we had the Italian meal where the waiter didn't bring my entree, and I asked him for it, and he was like, 'Are you sure you've had a lot of food?' You know, like I was fat shamed by a waiter," and she's like, "Oh, well, if you can remember all that stuff." So, yeah, that's why I like this ephemera of life, because it ties you to a memory. The only thing that could be better if it smelled like a certain way. You know? So like if you had like a certain lavender perfume that you guys wore.
Yeah, we'll spray some of our cologne.
Yeah. Hit me with your Axe for Men. Yeah, I did this show in Greeley. That show was like the most true to life. Was the one in my book where it's the cancer benefit, and the woman literally was on stage like about to die, and she said, "I'm gonna go down on my horse." And I was in the back, like, trying not to laugh. You know, if I'm going to die, if I'm going to go down, I'm going to go down on my horse. And everyone's like, "We love you." And I'm like, "What?" Yeah, and she was just like, you know, just fucking crepe paper skin. And then, we're going to miss you. Heaven's gaining an angel. All right, who's ready to laugh? Ladies and gentlemen, Sam Tallent. And that was after the Plopo thing, where the guy had ducks that shit on a big bingo board, and everyone was losing their fucking mind for Plopo. And then I went up, and man, did I eat it historically. I was too early in my career. I should not have done 45 minutes. They were like, "Can you do 45?" I think it paid like $400, and I was like, "That's life-changing money." This was in 2009 or 10. Christy Buckley, my friend, booked it. And I remember being on that stage, and they had a wireless mic, and I was bombing so bad. And I was like, "Okay, I'll go into the crowd, and I'll do crowd work with this big room of people." And they didn't want to speak to me. I would literally like walk up to someone and be like, "Hey, ma'am, where are you from?" And she would just like sit, eyes forward, like not moving, as if I had movement-based vision. You know, like if I don't move, he won't see me. Ugh.
Like you're a bear and she's trying to play dead.
Or like Predator, you know? Yeah. She's hiding from the Predator.
Heat signatures.
Yeah, exactly, dude. God, that show was a heartbreaker. And I wasn't selling merch, but I remember seeing that guy sell merch and just counting big wads of money. And I was like, this fucking carny. Ugh. Some guys followed me outside. I ran off the stage at the end because some guy like said something about my shoes, and I like called him a nasty thing. I think I said that he like went to dick sucking school or something. I can't remember. It wasn't very nuanced.
You got a full scholarship.
Yeah. He like called me gay, and I was like, "I learned it from watching you," or something. like something terrible. And then he was like, "What?" And him and his shit kicker buddies got up with their tucked in flannel shirts into their belt buckles, and they followed me outside. And I remember like standing on this hill, and they were like, "Blah, blah, blah." And I was like, "Guys, I'm sorry. It went very bad. You saw how bad it went. I'm sorry." And they were like, "What?" like, "You're admitting it?" And I was like, "Yes, that was really awful. I'm sorry I said that. Kick my ass." And they were like, "Oh, God, no." And And I tried to come back up this hill, and I slipped and fell into this like hill, and my pants and hands were all covered in mud. And Christy Buckley came out, and she's like, "What happened to you?" And I was like, "Please drive me home." Sat in shotgun, not tucking, covered in mud. Yeah, that was a bad show.
That kind of sounds like the part in the book where Lund is with Norm Macdonald.
Yeah.
And they get in the fight. The guys keep walking up and talking to Norm in the book and getting on his nerves, and Billy Ray kicks their ass.
Yeah, Billy Ray, I think in that moment does the beer bottle jammed in the guy's taking a sip, and Billy Ray jams the bottle into his teeth, which I saw done once in Fort Smith, Arkansas. Yeah, me and Lum were doing a very bad show in an outdoor volleyball pit, and later on that night, these guys were like bickering, and I saw the dude take a sip, and another dude just jam the bottle into his mouth, and like you like heard the glass hit the teeth, and I was like, that's the ultimate bar fight maneuver. It fucked me up. And in this part of the movie, like this is almost too much. This is where he almost like jumps the shark as far as likability.
Yeah, my jaw was like on the ground watching this the first time. Mm-hmm. But even the twist with taking the wrong brother out when he's yelling in the room, it's like it takes a minute to figure out what's going on. Mm-hmm. You're like, why is he yelling like this? That twist though is incredible. That really elevates the movie.
Oh yeah. Have you guys ever experimented with codeine cough syrup and Sprite?
I have not.
Dude, that's a fun one.
Is that like the Lil Wayne thing?
Yeah. I had a lot of friends that love Lil Wayne, and they do that all the time. Yeah.
Really?
Go to the student rec center and have a cold,
wow.
You'll get that stuff, yeah.
That's awesome. It's tough to get your hands on legitimate promethazine codeine cough syrup nowadays.
Do you ever robo-trip?
Man.
Yes.
When we were in school, though, if you even like sniffled, they're like, here's hydrocodone cough syrup.
Yep.
It was just like, oh.
Where's my Sprite?
Yeah. Yeah, it was so easy as a kid.
Oh, yeah.
I remember taking it all the time as a youth. Because I used to get strep throat all the time because I was so filthy. You robo-tripped?
I had a lot of friends that did it.
Yeah.
Kind of in high school, just trying to get messed up and just drink the whole bottle. They looked insane.
It's a bad one.
Yeah.
It's a dissociative. It also Coracetin and cold and cough. Triple C, kids.
Triple
C's, still get
dude.
it. Triple C's were big.
My cousin was like much younger, was like doing triple C's and stuff, and it was like one day he did like a ton of them, and we were like at a golf course or something. He just started acting a fool, and it was like, oh God, we got to get out of here. Like,
see, your Alabama upbringing is so much different from mine because we did the same thing, but I remember it was behind a Walmart. We were literally like hitting a dumpster with sticks, and this kid just like hit the ground and was like kind of like twitching, and we're like, what the fuck? And my buddy was like triple C's, and I was like, oh, okay, he's fine. Yeah. He's back to whacking that dumpster. You're on a golf course. That rules. There's also Morning Glory seeds. Did you ever fuck with those?
No.
Yeah, so you can get Morning Glory seeds, and in Morning Glory there's LSA, which is like an LSD analog. And I remember we got a bunch of Morning Glory seeds from Home Depot, and we went to Parker Days, which was this big like outdoor carnival in the town next to mine. And we ate all these Morning Glory seeds, and we drank a bottle of tequila in the parking lot. And then like one by one, we were all just like, oh, what the fuck? So we like limp back. My friend Alex's older sister gets us in the car. She's like, what'd you guys do? What's the matter with you guys? And I like held up the packet, and she looked at it, and she was like, you idiots, you have to get the untreated ones. These are sprayed with chemicals. You just ate a bunch of like DDT or whatever, like these are like pre-treated seeds that you're supposed to grow in like, commercial greenhouses. Like, what the fuck? So then she just like took us back to her parents' house and like watched over us as we all individually took turns throwing up bile outside.
Ugh.
It was really, really bad. That was like that. I couldn't drink tequila forever because it reminded me of that awful night where we thought we were all gonna die.
Yeah.
I remember my friend threw up, and it was like so much like acid and shit. He was like, put a piece of toilet paper in there, and the toilet paper kind of like fizzled and dissolved a little bit. We were all very close to death. We should have gone to the hospital.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So Morning Glory seeds, kids. Make sure you get them untreated. And nutmeg doesn't work. None of that stuff works. Banana peels. It's all bullshit.
When I was in high school, I got a concussion or cracked my cheekbone. My buddy's face went right into my cheek and cracked it. And I was at one of his like girlfriend's house, and her mom was like, my face was so swollen, and she was like, oh my God, like, I'm so sorry. And I was like, yeah, can I get some Tylenol? She's like, yes. So she came down and handed me 2 pills, and I took them. About 30 minutes later, I was like, yo, I feel crazy.
I feel better than I ever have.
I was like, I'm feeling like I'm riding the rocket.
I'm in the palm of God.
Yeah. I was like, what, did you give me something other than Tylenol? She's like, no, that's Tylenol. Well, about 5 minutes later, she comes downstairs and she's on the phone and she's just like looking at me. She goes, so turns out my husband had a knee surgery last year and those were his morphine pills.
Awesome.
So
yes. Can I get a few more?
Yeah.
Ow, they're wearing off.
I was so mangled. Mm-hmm. So that night, they take me home. The next morning, I'm like, Mom, my head's killing me. Please bring me some medicine. So she brings me up Tylenol and gives them to me. Well, we have to go to church as a family, and I'm like falling asleep.
You're nodding off.
Oh, I'm like falling, and my dad's getting so pissed. Yeah. Like he's just like, son, we're in church. Sit up. Like,
he's pissed when he's calling you son.
Oh,
he forgot which one you are.
Yeah, he was furious. Yeah. And he was just like, I was like, Dad, I think the medicine. He's just like, those drugs are not still in your system. Like that didn't work like that. He was just so mad. So we got home, and I still get reamed out the whole ride home. We get home, I'm like, Mom, my head still really hurts. Where's that medicine? She's like, it's upstairs in your bathroom. I went upstairs, and she'd given me Tylenol PM. So back-to-back doses.
Damn, dude.
So I was so fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, PM's going to zonk you out even more than that morphine.
I know.
God damn.
So I don't take medicine from anyone anymore. Like, I have to reach into the bottle myself and get it.
Yeah, or just pill identifier on your phone.
I didn't even know that's a thing.
Yeah, because out there on the road, people will give me little gift bags every now and then.
Yeah.
And sometimes in there might be a couple random pills. And I'll be like, well, what's this, It's like, oh, I don't want to eat 40 milligrams of Adderall. No, thank you. I don't need to be awake for 8 days straight. Yeah. Well, I remember we got our hands on a bag of liquid morphine one time. And we were just like slurping it out of the tube and passing it around. And it was like a football party. And I remember like all of our girlfriends being like, you guys, what's next? What's next? You guys going to be on heroin now? And it's like, just totally warped. That was fun.
Different times.
Yeah.
Back when they were just giving that shit out. I mean, I saw so many of my buddies got on like Roxy and Oxy, and that was just like.
Remember Roxy's? Remember how that was like the go-to?
Oh, yeah.
That was crazy.
I have so many shithead friends. Even the pill identifiers are like, oh, yeah, that takes me back.
Yeah.
So, Sam, you dyed your hair a few years ago, right?
Yeah.
Was that influenced by this movie at all?
Dude, I don't know what that was. I think that it was, I really succumbed to peer pressure at Doug Stanhope's home.
Okay.
Because I was at Stanhope's. This is like, no.
Yeah, we don't have to watch this.
No. How lucky is that little girl, though? The actress? She gets to smooch Pattinson?
I hadn't thought about that angle while watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like he's carrying her
And look
daughter.
how he picked her up, and his hand grazes her breast, and you can tell he's like in real life. He's like, no. Yeah, dude. And then fucking mom. Oh, and they're so Greek in this. It's totally brutal. I bleached my hair at Stanhope's house during quarantine because they were all doing stuff. This is so fucked. This is bad. This is bad. Don't look away. This is bad. But yeah, and then also he shaved half of my head when he bleached my hair. So I was okay with bleaching the hair, and he's like, that's too normal still. And Tracy and him shaved the side of my head.
Like Two-Face, like shaved half of it?
This third.
Okay.
So it was kind of like this was all here, like right where the part was, Yeah, that was fucked. My family hated it. I came back and I was like, this isn't bad. And also, like, if you Google me, I think that it's still like the #1 image that pops up.
Oh, no way.
Is me with that fucked up hair. Yeah,
well, I could honestly, when I saw it, I was like, I think he dyed his hair, but it almost looked like a wig a little bit. Like...
Yeah, I look like the heat miser. I remember coming home and being like, everyone's gonna love this, and my wife was like, shave your, like, right away when I got out of the car. She was like, God damn it, Sam. God damn it. Like, she was so mad about it. All my friends made fun of me. Right?
It's towards the top.
Yeah, dude, look at me.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's wild.
No human being should ever look like that. And look at the confidence I have in that photograph.
Honestly, dude, you look just thrilled.
I know. I was thrilled. I look like I'm like, yeah, I did it. Like, I'm mama's little boy. Yeah, dude. I was thrilled. I've always wanted to bleach my hair.
Yeah,
I thought it's a hard look.
I mean, you just look so happy.
Mm-hmm.
What's that in your hair?
I found some hair dye in your bathroom.
You dyed your hair.
Yeah. It's kind of a weirdo.
And it was kind of like the blonde bleach too, where they like left it in too long or whatever.
Oh,
It wasn't
yeah.
like the white one. I was like stoked on
This
that.
is like, so I have red hair. It's not as red now, but when I was younger, I was like Opie.
Mhm.
And I would put in, my mom would put in sun in during the summertime.
God bless you, brother.
Oh.
Come on, Sunnin. Oh man, Sunnin was big.
Dude,
we are the exact same age.
No,
Shit.
my hair, I've got pictures where my hair looks exactly that
Yeah,
color.
Sunnin.
Yeah,
dude.
sun in with red hair was a bad idea.
That is nuts.
Yeah, dude.
You're crazy.
Oh, it was. I looked like Chester Cheeto. It was so bad.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it became. It would get kind of like blonde, but then it would go straight orange after that. So yeah, I had some rough years.
I remember asking
just like
my,
the sun.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he was like Twilight Head. I remember asking my mom for Sunnin, and she was like, "No." But then my Aunt Julie, who was a lot younger than my mom, was like, "I'll get it." And then my Aunt Julie like secretly putting Sunnin in my hair, and then like seeing the ramifications and being like, "Oh shit, no, your mom's gonna be able to tell." Yeah. And I was like young too. I was probably like 10. I wasn't even in middle school yet, and I wanted Sunnin so bad.
It was fourth grade was when my big sun in year.
Yeah. And like 4th, 5th grade, and also people were like spiking their hair at the time.
Yep.
And I remember like putting
Lee's pipes were huge.
Lee pipes were massive, bro. Yeah. I put shaving cream in my hair to spike it. I was experimenting in the bathroom, and I was like, this works. And then I went to school with shaving cream in my hair, and by like halfway through, I was just covered in like just an avalanche of like, bad dandruff from the fucking shaving cream drying and flaking. And I was in gym class and just like sweating cum. Just like in my eyes, like I was having this little private war with the shaving cream. Yeah, that was brutal. Yuck. Man.
Sweating cum.
Yeah, just sweating cum. Oh man, yeah. Don't use shaving cream, kids. That's what all the punk rockers said they would do with their mohawks, was they'd put shaving cream in there. But that it was
They were
wrong.
lying.
It was actually egg yolks.
Wait, really?
Yeah, dude. Like if you see those Liberty spikes, like back in the
like
day,
tall.
Where they're like
Yeah.
stiff.
yeah,
Yeah.
I guess egg yolk is the trick to that. Before they had like access to, commercial equivalent hairspray and stuff. Yeah, God, shaving cream, gross. I love the feel of shaving cream.
The feel of it.
Bro, just a handful of that cream and just like splashing it around, squishing
A
it.
handful of that cream.
Yeah, there's the clip. I love slime. I love shaving cream. I love that tactile experience.
Have you ever, like at the barber, they'll shave you? Have you ever had somebody shave you before?
It's too intimate.
Yeah.
I've had one person shave me once, and it felt like third base with a man, which is great. But I was like, I was skeeved out by it. I was like, I can't handle this. It's like watching a man sing a song with an acoustic guitar. It's like I can't see this.
Yeah.
It gave me that same feeling.
I get that.
It's just like I felt too vulnerable.
The best part is just having someone put the warm shaving cream
Oh
on
sure,
your face.
yeah. I've had that machine once where I was able to use the hot cream on my
Yeah.
face. But God, I cannot be shaved by anyone.
Yeah,
I don't
I
like a
can't do
haircut.
it. In general, it makes me break out like crazy.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I've been using the Manscaped line of products.
Yeah?
now. Yeah. Just because
Are
they
those
send
for your
them to
face?
us. So yeah, they weren't initially.
Oh,
I had
okay,
the cube
okay.
one, and I was like in a hurry to shave, and I was like, I'm gonna use this, and it worked just fine. It was great. I don't know if that's because I have like coarse facial hair, but yeah, the pube one was good.
Never knew that. If you didn't think they were scumbags before, when they go to White Castle, you're like, okay, they definitely are.
Yes. Ugh. Yeah, what a great decision it was to have the wrong brother. And what's weird about this is the guy who knows where the acid is stashed, right?
Yes.
So it's just like, this guy's selling acid, you know what I mean?
Well, he knows somebody that's like selling acid because he just got out of prison.
Right.
And then and that's a great part. He's telling the story. Here it is right now. He's telling the story.
Jerk, yes.
And the whole time Robert Pattinson's just Googling the place that he said they stashed the acid at.
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
Immediately ignoring him at the end.
Yeah,
of the
that's
story.
like all he took away.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that's a real story that happened to that guy, the actor?
Really?
Yeah, he said that the part with the cab where the guy like was speeding up and was like, "You don't pay. I'm taking you to jail," and he was like, literally said he jumped out of a moving cab.
Whoa.
Damn.
Yeah, and then there you have the Pepe meme initially. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's just like so funny to think of like organized, or not even organized crime, but like low level creeps in New York being acid salesmen.
I did think being high on drugs at arcade, like this looked pretty sweet a little bit.
Dude, that's too much. I can't imagine being at a creepy like store brand Dave and Buster's surrounded by these freaks
doing
on a
like
bunch
a
of
virtual
LSD
reality thing.
Oh, yeah.
My god.
Yuck.
I would want to be with that crowd, that's for sure.
I felt like the soundtrack of this is great.
Mm-hmm.
Like all the
synths.
Yeah, it just like it really encapsulates like how you feel in those moments. Like it adds stress to me at times.
Same thing with Uncut Gems. They just know how to implement that where you're just like gets you so tense.
Yeah, it's like almost music. You know? Yeah. Yeah, I love the way that they use sound in their films. Uncut Gems is so loud. Like in theaters.
Yeah.
Everything about that movie is so damn loud. I love that. I love the sound mixing. Just like, I mean, masterpiece is such an overused term, but
him tying in the tip to the parlay was
Dude.
just like the most stress. Like when they throw that ball in there, I mean, you know he's gonna get it because it'd be weird. It'd be terrible to lose the parlay right off the bat.
Yeah.
But like when that ball's in there, I'm just like my heart's like in my butt.
Yeah.
Watching that.
And it just speaks to the level of degeneracy but also how savvy. He's actually a savvy gambler. But like if you like believe in that player, it's like he's gonna win the tip. He's fired up.
Yeah.
So yeah,
He's got a gym.
got a fucking gem, dude. Yeah.
I thought KG was great in that too.
Oh yeah, KG was awesome. And they went through so many different players that were supposed to be that guy.
Supposed to be Mari Stoudemire.
I think so. Yeah.
And then Joel Embiid, and then they just decided to set it back to KG.
Dude, I read 7 Seconds or Less about the Phoenix Suns in that era.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And it made me like not like Stoudemire.
Bro,
like,
fuck the Suns.
Yeah, I like D'Antoni, and like I like the way like the stuff that I read, and I was like, oh, you know, he seems like a fun guy, but like, man, Amari Stoudemire was just a pill. He just kind of like never rehabbed his knees ever. Like would like get hurt and be like, oh, you know, and would talk shit. Would just be sitting on the bench being like talking about KG. Would be like, you think KG can't contain me, and it's like, dude, you haven't played a game in 2 years. Like, what are you talking about?
Suns suck though. I was always mad at the Suns because I was a Denver Nuggets fan.
That makes sense.
So it's just like, ugh.
Are those like rivals?
I wouldn't say they're rivals. I think the only real rival the Nuggets have are probably the Utah Jazz. We've had bad blood with the Jazz off and on, but it was just like people would be like, "Oh, the Suns got cool new jerseys," and you know, like they're actually like a franchise that matters. And then the Nuggets would just be like going through yet another decade of rebuilding. Like, when do we get our shot?
Well, you finally got it.
Got it now.
How
baby.
sweet was it when Jokic hit that 3 against the Lakers?
Bro, he's the best player by far in the league. Like,
and it feels like he'd rather just be hanging out with his horses.
Well, it also feels like the league is trying to suppress it because the Nuggets aren't a big market.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't care about the spotlight. He doesn't speak, you know, as good at English as like Giannis, and he's not in any commercials. Why isn't the best player in basketball in commercials?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not even an argument. Like the fact that he didn't get MVP again last year, very embarrassing for the league.
Especially after the playoffs, like Joel Embiid disappeared.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was lame.
Dude. Giannis has he leads the league Jokic leads the league right now in points, rebounds, and assists. He leads the league in all three.
It feels like he's regressed a little bit this year too. Not too much, but just it feels like he, maybe not as motivated, right?
You watch your mouth. You keep that.
I just feel like he enjoyed his time off from basketball.
Someone showed that picture of him like walking into the back right before the first game or whatever. And it was like, look at Jokic, like back to the NBA, like so disappointed he's not with his horses.
That picture of him when he's like in 5th grade or whatever, when he's huge.
Oh,
yeah. That's a great pic.
Yeah. Yeah, me and my buddy Pat have shirts with his bitch tits on them. Yeah. I mean, it's like, I'm so just, I think all of Denver is like, oh, of course Jokic doesn't get any love because it's Denver. And then we have this like chip on our shoulder about how people just kind of think of us as like the king of the flyover states. And it's like, no, we have our own thing going on, So anyway, he should be. I mean, this is Saint Yoke right there. So we got on this.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was over in Slovakia, and I was wearing this on stage. And then afterward, I was like, we went to some bar where they were having Baltic music night after the show. We were in Bratislava. And I get in there, and I'm like talking to people. And I'm like, yeah, I'm from Denver, like Jokic. And it turned out they were a bunch of Bosnians. It was actually Bosnian music night, like specifically. And they were not fans.
Oh, no.
Because, there's a history of someone called a genocide between the two countries. Yeah. Yeah. That was a tough one.
Have you ever tried to climb over a barbed wire fence?
I've never been good at climbing over fences. It's never been my thing. I've lived a pretty ground-based. I have definitely I've kicked at fences until
just ran through them.
Yeah, until the post comes available to then yank out. And it's so much more all my friends are already in the community pool after hours having a good time. And I'm over there just trying to kick a fence in as they're, everyone's going skinny dipping. They're all like, shut up, just climb it. It's like, I can't. There's tits in there.
Come on, everyone's naked.
Yeah, I know. And then literally, let me in. It really sucks. I got in trouble at the San Diego Zoo one time because I kicked in a fence because my friends hopped it to sneak in. And I kicked this fence in the process, I lost my flip-flop. And then me and my buddy JR were wandering in the back of the zoo area where they feed all the animals. We had a great 20 minutes as my friend Clay and Bonzo were in the zoo enjoying themselves. And then this security cart pulls up, and I'm like, "Fuck!" And we try to run, but I have one flip flop. And then I see the guy in the cart holding up my other shoe. So they took us into the jail in the zoo. This was right after graduation, 2005, and we're in this we're in the zoo jail. You can understand how I transpose those two letters. We're in zoo jail.
Jew hell.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh no. But they let us out finally. A cop came and he was like, "Who cares?" And my buddy JR was 17 at the time, so he was like, "I want my mom. You can't talk to me without my parents." But anyway, we get out after this harrowing experience, and then my buddy Bonzo and Clay come out of the zoo with penguin t-shirts on, eating cotton candy. And they're like, "How was your time?" And it was like, "Terrible." And they had the time of their lives. But yeah, kicking down fences has been bad for me.
That's almost pretty good timey.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, there's a lot of harebrained schemes you get involved in when you're young and your days are wide open and the stakes are so low. There was a lot of fun times that are reminiscent of this in my upbringing. Never the level of crime, of course, they committed, but the level of just kind of what do we got to lose type shit.
Were you surprised at the ending of this with him just getting arrested and that kind of being the end of it? Or do you think there would be more tragedy?
I mean, dude, I told you, I think the tragedy is his brother in that room, just trapped without the one person who gave a shit or believed in him,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a completely tragic film.
I just thought that Robert Pattinson was going to end up dying.
Yeah, but I think that's even better to know that he's not dead. He's just removed from his brother.
Yeah.
And maybe one day he'll be able to get out. I mean, death is just so final.
But do you think Robert Pattinson's a good influence on his brother? Because he might now have a chance of improving his life a little bit.
That's how my wife took it. She's like, "No, it's good that he's in that program now because he's actually going to get help and guidance." But I just think that when you have one person, when everyone else treats you like lesser than, and there's one person who like tries to include you, I think that's probably better. I'm sure that he would rather spend time with his brother doing, awful crimes than he would rather be in that like linoleum bleached room in that community center somewhere in like Upper Yonkers. Ugh, it sucks.
Yeah, it'd be tough.
Yeah. We're all so lucky to not
Yeah,
have that.
I just have to do a shitty podcast with my brother.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I mean, a beloved podcast. Everyone comes on here and they're like, oh my God, you guys are so great. You got Maddie Smith a fanny pack. She loved it.
Yeah.
I lost that fucking sports hat you guys got me.
Oh, no.
Like right away, dude. I was wearing it and I was wearing the shit out of it, and then out of nowhere.
You did kind of leave this. I don't know if we got it to you on air last time.
No, we didn't show it to you on air. We cut it, but
I found that at my house.
God. I had this exact thing, dude. These would reek.
Oh,
These
yeah.
metal pipes, dude.
I could see that.
They would stink so bad, and you'd have it like in your backpack or in your glove box. And like, license and registration. And you're like, okay. I literally have like, a welder's tool filled with resin. These are great. And then this one's cool because it has that the screw top on there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can really pack the shit out of it if you want to. And then allegedly, this is how you snuff it, That helps put it out. But yeah, because there's no airflow. But these are never tight enough, it seems. So there's just in there smoldering, and then your thumb stinks too. These were big. I love these.
have you ever hit the gas mask?
Oh yeah,
dude. In college, I remember doing it and seeing a girl later, and like she was like, "Did you smoke weed?" And I was like, a little bit. She's like, your whole face like smells of weed.
I know, man. Yeah, your whole head would reek. Yeah, you're in the gas mask, and I remember we were going through our gas mask phase when we had swag, so it was like the worst ditch weed. Yeah, and you put it on, and you're in there in this world of smoke, and then your fucking eyelids are reeking. You can't get it. Like you forget to get it out of your eyebrows. I remember like my eyebrows one time just like rubbing them and like having resin in there from a day in the gas mask. Yeah, that was like the fun part of weed for a while. It was like, what's the most ludicrous device we can use?
Do you have a more ludicrous device than that?
Yeah. Yes. I mean, we had a 6-foot bong, but the big one that we had was when I moved into my first apartment living with, lower tiers of these kinds of people. We would get a Deep Rock water bottle from the hallway in my apartment building, like one of those huge ones, like the water cooler water thing. We'd dump that out, and then we would make a bong out of that and cut off the bottom. Or no, we'd poke holes in the bottom and do a gravity bong with it in the bathtub. And that thing wrecked so many lives. So many young, bright futures were snuffed out by that goddamn gravity bong. Ugh.
My roommate in college, when he was in high school, how he got caught smoking weed. It was Halloween, and they made a pumpkin bong.
Oh, that's fun.
Like they carved out a pumpkin, and they had like all these white tubes coming out of it. Like all 5 of them could sit around and light a bowl.
That's
but
fun.
Someone's mom came like while they're doing it, and he just had to grab the pumpkin and run.
That's awesome. That's very, very funny. Just running through a field with a pumpkin.
Like, what the hell is that?
Oh my God, dude! One time we got busted smoking weed, and my friend's dad came home early and was like, "Well, I'm tired of this shit in my house, so you're all gonna stay here, and your parents are gonna come over, and I'm gonna tell them all what you were up to." And my buddy Jordan Barry jumped off the porch, and then he ran, and it was Elizabeth, so it was this big wide open field. And I just remember like this break, like he's like, we're all really scared. And then Jordan jumps off the porch, and then we all watch as he runs through the field. And then out of nowhere, he drops. And then he stands up because there was like a ditch there. And he just sits up and he's like, help. Help. We had to go over there because he twisted his ankle and he couldn't walk. The pumpkin thing rules, dude.
That's incredible.
One question we always ask.
Yes.
How'd you find out Santa Claus wasn't real? Do you have a story there?
Yeah. My mom just told us one time. My mom, God bless her, I loved her very much, but she had she eventually got on like the right pills, the right mood stabilizers, and went from like this very like swingy type personality to like more, middle of the road. But I remember like, I don't know. My sister was in school, so I was probably 10 or whatever. But on Christmas, me like, Santa's so great. Like, thank God for Santa, like, oh, Santa delivers all this stuff. And just like being so stoked on Santa. I remember my mom in the kitchen being like, it's us, we did this for you. This is why you have gifts. Because me and your father bought these gifts and we wrap them, we put them under the tree. There's no Santa. Easter Bunny either. Like, she was just like jealous of the praise I was giving to Santa. And like had like a real cold moment where she needed to have that. She had to have, me, my adulation towards her. And yeah, she just told us straight up. And I remember like holding like whatever it was, like Madden 96, and just being like,
Brett Favre on the cover.
Yeah, like, I don't care where I got it from. Thanks, Mom. That was the worst part of Christmas, was getting the new Madden and then having like one game with it before we had to go to my aunt and uncle's. I remember just like rushing through Christmas so I could get upstairs, get in my room, pop in the new Madden before we had to bail. God, Madden.
Oh, dude.
It was so good. And then NCAA superseded Madden.
That was the best time when you had the overlap. We even had NCAA basketball at one point in time.
Yep.
Like, those games were so much fun.
Remember when you could import your draft class from NCAA into Madden? God, that was sick. I think they're bringing back NCAA.
Yeah, it's supposed to be this next summer.
Really? I can't wait. I will get back into football video gaming when that happens.
It was Denard Robinson was the last one on the cover. Oh, Shoelace from Michigan.
Whoa.
2014.
Yeah, it's like I haven't played Madden in a long time because everyone else is much better at it than me. But I do remember like just how much fun it was to run the option. Or like run the Maryland Eye, or like try and make Navy into a thing, Or for me, it was Air Force. Just like
I do the Idaho Vandals.
Oh, dude, they were such dog shit. They were the last. They were like the worst team.
And they had that small little like
dude.
field house almost.
Yeah, dude, I loved those colors. Are sick.
Yeah,
that like kind of Vanderbilt, but like a little bit different
it's
colorway.
More swaggy.
Yeah, for sure. The Vandals. Yeah, I remember how bad they were. God, fuck, dude. You're a real head. Dude. The Vandals were mega. Yeah.
I love you. Like, yeah, damn, we're totally the same age.
Yeah, no, we're locked in, man. Sun in, trying to make the Vandals a franchise. Yeah.
With orange hair just sitting there.
And they were in the Sun Belt, right?
All right, let's see what conference they are.
No one likes
Big
this.
Sky.
Big Sky.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Everyone's mad right now. We gave you so much great content. Let us have this moment, people.
This one's for us.
Okay? Yeah.
One question, though, before we do wrap up. Do you have a movie that gets you emotional, makes you cry?
Gets me emotional. Shit. Probably, but like off the top of my head in my swirling hungover state. You know what makes me cry is Good Will Hunting, because when I watch it, I remember seeing it in theaters with my mom, and it reminds me of just being like her. That one gets me. And then Uncle Buck will make me cry too.
Uncle Buck.
Yeah, just because I think about Candy and how good he was, and just remember my mom for that one too. Yeah. Sorry, it wasn't that good.
Yeah, glad we could bring the mood down.
I was really hoping to be able to make fun of you. Like,
no.
The Santa Claus?
Right.
Tim Allen, he just gets me, man.
I have a hard. I'm easily manipulated by like commercials and like grand displays of like patriotic shit. I remember being at the Indy 500 and like the Blue Angels flew over as Jewel was singing the national anthem. I was standing next to H. Foley from Are You Garbage, and I had sunglasses on, and he had them on. And I remember taking my sunglasses off to reveal I was crying, and he did the same thing. And then we just hugged each other as Jewel finished the national anthem. We just stood there in front of however many hundreds of thousands of people just holding each other. So, yeah, that kind of shit gets me. But movies, I have a tough... I mean, if I remember someone I loved who liked that movie and they're no longer around, that'll get me. But, yeah, Good Will Hunting is the one, I think. I haven't watched it in a long time, like since my mom... I've seen it like once.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
It's not your fault.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
It's not your fault, dude.
It's not your fault. Don't fuck with me.
It's not your fault. Don't fuck with me, all right? Don't fuck with me, Sean. Not you. It's not your fault. It's not your fault.
Dude, yeah, and I remember that was my first entree into Casey Affleck. I remember being like, whoa, that other guy's fucking cool.
Dude, Manchester by the Sea. Did you see that one?
Fuck, bro. Yes. Awesome film.
Yeah.
Totally bleak. So heartbreaking.
No, I like showed it to my parents, and they were like,
ooh.
Like, I loved it. And was probably like depressed at the time, and it was like, he gets me.
Yeah.
And then I showed it to them, and like my dad looked at me and was like, so you've seen that twice now? I was like, I've actually seen it like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah. I might pop that in the hotel room tonight. Shit. That's a great movie.
Agreed. Well, Sam, you've given us plenty of time, I think.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
we can wrap up.
We
Plug
tried
anything?
to, me and Shane, I was at Shane Gillis's house the last 3 nights in Austin. And on Tuesday, we had a big birthday dinner for him, and me and McCusker took him out. And then we got back to the house, and Shane was like, let's watch a movie. And I was like, right on. So I smoked a little bit of weed, and me and Shane were laying on couches like this. And there's that movie, May December, which Lucy brought up last night.
Yeah.
And I remember like us like, oh, wow, it's Julianne Moore and Natalie Portman. Like, oh, this seems like such a compelling film, you know? Like, after 20 minutes of trying to find a movie. And then I remember Shane just hovering over the play button, and then he went, but it's gay. And we couldn't watch it. Like, he couldn't bring himself to click play. So we watched some Korean horror film.
I was gonna say, y'all watch a World War II doc?
No, we watched The Wailing, which I think you said you liked a lot, right?
It's crazy.
But yeah, picking a movie sucks. So I'm just gonna commit to Manchester by the Sea tonight. I'm gonna watch that for sure.
Well, thanks again, man.
Bros, I
having you
love
on.
this pod. Thank you so much for having me. You guys, you do such a good job and so thoughtful. It's just so rare to have this level of like care put into things. And I'm sincerely moved, you know, like this shit rules. I have a new comedy special coming out December 26th on the Matt and Shane Secret Podcast YouTube. It's called The Toad's Morale. It was filmed at Go Bananas in Cincinnati, and I'm very proud of it. So yeah, watch that and listen to Chubby Behemoth.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, man.
Thank you guys.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate y'all.
Watching movies till we